Guys, welcome to the stream. Let's get it on someone that's out on track. Hey Ian, nice to see you, mate. So we are obviously here for round 8 of Team Tours at Tokyo Central, and then the main race will be at Tokyo East, I believe. Both clockwise, yeah. Central clockwise for the first race and East clockwise for the main race. As we can just see a few of the guys getting some practice in now then. We have got it interesting tonight though, because it does look like we've got the top 3 teams in the lobby again. So Team Valkyrie went up into 3rd place after last week. So we've got Iron Plebs, Yes Cargo and Team Valkyrie, who had all 1, 2 and 3 retrospectively. And then we have Rocky Horror as well in this lobby. Hey Ray, nice to see you. Hey Slipstream. So I said this should be a good chance for Lost in Pace and SpongeBob Skid Pants to close the gap on the top 3 as well though, with those 2 being in the other lobby, making for an interesting final round next week. But in the actual individual championship, it looks like Harlock is going to be running away with that one as he's starting to gain a bit of a lead over Tonic, who's got a lead. But for third place, it's one hell of a battle, as we have Shelty on 315 points, followed by King Ears on 309, Gov on 308, Jakey on 307. So that is a huge battle going on for third place there. And are all those guys in our lobby tonight? I believe they may be. Yeah, because we've got Kingy and Shelty obviously competing, are in the same team. And then Jakey is in Valkyrie. And what team is Gov in? No, Gov's in the SpongeBob team, and so he's in the other lobby. So we've got 3 of those guys that are competing for third place in this lobby. So if Gov can get a good result tonight in lobby 2, that'll put him in a good place to maybe take over that third place spot. Should be around 8 to 10 minutes before we get going in this one. Switch on someone else. Go back to Ost, setting the pace at the moment. Ost has done a few of the circuit experiences around these Tokyo tracks though, so see if Ost can have a good night and he can close up and get in that fight for P3 as well, because he's not too far back in P7 from that group that are fighting for P3. $11 on track, so I believe we only have, yeah, we only have 4 teams in our lobby, so we should have 12, so we're missing 1 driver still at the moment. Waiting on Jakey, so just Jakey to come in then. So he needs to make sure he gets here, because he's in that fight for third place and in that fight for first place in the teams as well. Yeah, and Tonic's getting very close as well in the practice. Could just be the practice. There might be a few people sandbagging in the practice. As there goes Shelty, as you mentioned, taking the lead in that FF car. So Shelty will have the advantage in this first race. Let me just grab my other keyboard. So we can do any of the fancy stuff. Try and remember to do some replays this week if we need to. Yeah, Shelty always does well in that car with these sprint races. But as soon as the second race comes in, it's normally a lot more difficult for him. Obviously with the tyre wear and stuff with those FF cars. But on raw pace, especially that Mazda does seem to have a lot more oomph than some of the other cars. Yeah, Ray, when it comes to fastest lap and everything, he does normally fly. And like I said, the first race, he's always the one to watch in the first race. But you'll have to tell Shelty and Kingy not to run out of fuel tonight, Ray. Make sure they put enough fuel in that second race. Hey Steve, nice to see you, mate. As we see Ian deciding to get out on track for a bit of practice. And are you racing, are you, Steve, or is someone covering for you? So presuming Clarkie's in for Josh, because I think he was in the Sylvia. I think he was the only one, wasn't he? All powers in Valkyrie, isn't he? Echo's in Valkyrie. Trying to see who we've... Is Tim covered in? No, Tim's been in this, hasn't he, I think? Yeah, Tim's in Rocky's team as well. Oh, it'll be Nikki then, will it? Covered in. Yeah, Nikki's covered in for Steve. Yeah, cheers for that, Nikki. Steve, sorry. A couple of minutes. Hopefully Jakey isn't too far away. As Tonic's the fastest one left out on track. So I think Shelty, Ost and Tonic all doing 17.5s. So we'll see whether they can match that in qualifying or not. But that might be the time we're looking to aim for pole position, is getting into the 17.5s. We're right up there as well in terms of time. Ost decided to go back out there. So we could have a tight race for pole here. It looks like there's quite a few getting below a 17.7. So we could have a very tight qualifying. As there we go, Tonic a 17.4. Yeah, I wouldn't advise doing that, Steve. The bung shouldn't be causing an issue at all with the braking. Because if you take the bung out, as I said in the Discord, it just it makes the travel of the pedal longer, but the pedal doesn't register after a certain point anyway. So then, when you're pressing it all the way down, you won't be getting any registered pedal in that section. So what I did with mine when I had those pedals was I replaced the rubber with a solid block just to get rid of because I didn't like the sponginess because it didn't really add anything. But I replaced it with like a wooden block that was a tiny bit smaller, so that I could still get 100%, but I had a solid stop point instead. So yeah, basically, Steve, because the rubber only compresses a bit, you probably, if you go anything less than 3/4 of the size of the rubber, you're just getting no position. So basically, you want to take less. If you're going to cut a bit off it, you less than a quarter. But I don't think that'll be your issue. I think it must be the way it's calibrated in the game. So I wouldn't advise doing that because you should easily be able to hit 100% with that rubber. You don't need much force. You should be able to hit 100% with that rubber with your hand. So as I said, I think it might be the way maybe that your pedals are calibrated in the game. That's the only thing I can think of. Obviously, I've never used mine on GT7, but I did use them on Sport and never had an issue. So. And again, what did you say your pedal was registering in the game, by the way, Steve? Did you say, was it 70-something%? Because I think with the rubber, you should still be hitting like 90% before you even have to compress the rubber anyway, if I remember rightly. So, as I said, I doubt that's the issue. I imagine it will be like a calibration issue of some sort. Yeah, if you would have thought you were going to break it if you were pushing that hard, Steelers, you were maxing out the pedal, so that'll be a calibration issue. So push it all the way down and recalibrate the pedal in GT7 so that when that 70% becomes 100%. So are we missing Jakey for tonight then? Oh, he's going to give him till 5 past, so any minute now we'll get going. So Jakey in a fight for 3rd place, and his team's in a fight for the win, and he might be missing out on this one. Yep, Kingy asking if everyone's ready. So maybe Jakey will make it for race 2, but it looks like he's going to miss, well, at least miss qualifying for race 1. I'm sure Ray will be messaging him, trying to get him to wake up. Oh, but Shelty went into a 17.3 then. So is this now that the track's got a bit better, maybe? Or maybe had a bit better slipstream? Well, here we go. Ready to start qualifying now then. Let's go on board with Tonic, I think, actually, for the first lap. Considering until Shelty nicked it off it then he had the fastest lap in practice. And I think we watched Shelty last time round. Tonic and Os going to slipstream each other. It looks like they are. It looks like Tonic, being the fastest, is going to go first. And he's maybe going to give Os the tow round to help his teammate out. And they are looking for a big, big gap here. Or maybe he wants Os in front. I don't know. I think now they've got a huge gap, so I think they'd get going now. Looks like they are. Maybe they just want to make sure that they don't have to slow down again if others slow down to create a gap. Yeah, I'm not sure then, Steve, but like I said, in that calibration, if you've recalibrated it, when you push it all the way down, it should say 100% because of you having recalibrated it to that, but here we go then. It looks like everybody but Tonic and Ost now have started a lap. Has Ost actually dropped? Yeah, Ost has let Tonic go, actually. I thought Ost was going to try and use Tonic then for a slipstream, but he's not. They're just both getting a nice gap at the back of the field so they can put clean laps in. We'll see whether that tactic pays off for them. Got a little bit of a wiggle with Tonic here by the looks of it, so hard to tell quite how close he's getting to the walls. See whether those first guys are starting to come round to the start-finish line again to complete their first laps. So we'll see the times coming in that Tonic and Ost will be looking to beat. 18.3, 18.3, 17.3. Shelty has put in an absolute banger on the first lap this time. A 17.3, that was the fastest lap we saw anyone do in practice, which was Shelty that did it with one of the last practice laps, and he's matched it now. So that's going to be a very tough target for anyone to beat. Let's see what Tonic can do here now then. So Tonic are only up to P6, a second off. So it's moved to half a second ahead of everybody else's Shelty at the moment, and he is improving on that lap. Is Shelty absolutely flying here? Oh, that might have just been lap over though. Don't know whether he touched the wall. There was a huge wiggle of his car. Getting a slipstream from his teammate there. Hopefully not getting in his way. Yeah, it looks like that's that lap gone. Well, only because it's, you know, going to be hard to improve that 0.3. We were saying anything under a 0.5 should be in pole range, and Shelty's done a 0.3 right with the first lap out the bag. So a lot about Clarky. Let's see what's Clarky doing now then, as Nicky improves his time, but only to P4. Tim improves as well, moving up to P8. And Clarky well off, must have had an issue on that lap. Who's next? Echo is next in line at the moment. Right up behind King Ears. As there we go, Tonic up to P2, but still a 10th and a half behind Shelty. But he's put that 0.5 in, which is the target time we were looking at from people practicing. And Ost up to P4 now as well. But let's see if Ost can improve that time then, as these will be everybody's final lap, I think. Yeah, so here we go, final laps now for everyone. Well, I think Shelty might have that pole in the bag. It's not going to be an easy lap to beat. As Clarkey moves up. No, Clarkey will. No, Clarkey's moved up to P3, I think, there, hasn't he? No, he's still on a lap. So Clarkey must have been P3 anyway. As Nicky goes up to P4 with an improvement there. So we'll stay on with Ost. Looks like Ost might be the last one to cross the line looking by this train. Possibly Tonic behind him. As there is one car left behind him on track. So let's see if anyone else improves. Couple more coming up to the line now by the looks of it. But we are not seeing any improvements flash up. So what about Ost? Yes, Ost up into P3 with a 17.6 right behind his teammate there. And was it Tonic? No, it was Lol Power left across the line and he improved. But nowhere near the times that he was doing in the practice. So down in P9 looks like everybody has crossed the line now. And just Tim in the pit. So Shelty with a mega first lap there, couldn't even get close to it himself, taking the pole position in this one, as the team of cars all together there. And then Tonic taking P2 with his teammate Ost right behind him. So Iron Pleb's in a great position against Yes Car Go there, but Yes Car Go having that pole position. So there we go, we've got Shelty, followed by Tonic, and then Ost rounding out the top three. Then we got Clarkey in P4, Nicky P5, P6 is King Ears, P7 is Echo, and then Tim is P8. Then we have Lol Power in P9, Ian in P10, and Shinto P11. Perfect kept finding the wall, so it sounds like Kingy wasn't having the greatest of times then. Trying to get that Bugatti round them small Tokyo streets. As here we go, about to get the race started. Let's go back down the order a little bit like we normally do to see if we can see all the action possible. Oh, and a long hold of the lights there, but nobody jumped it. Very well, that was a long hold on the 5 red lights there. As Kingy with the all-wheel drive gets the jump on Nicky off the line. Looks like everybody cleanly round turn 1. There's no real heavy brake in turn 1 there, so makes it less incident prone. But the top 3 has remained the same. Oh, was that Echo and Tim side by side there? But Tim having to concede that position. So moving back further up, Shelty, has he pulled a gap yet? No, he's got Tonic all over him. Can Ost do anything to help Tonic get by Shelty here? No, Ost has gone by Tonic. So Ost getting a little bit in his teammate's way there and moving up into P3. Maybe not the wisest team play. Possibly going to allow Shelty to run away now he's got that bit of a gap. But maybe Tonic made a slight error, so Ost had to go by not to get slowed down. But that does look like, from what we've seen in other races, that will probably be enough for Shelty to run away with this sprint race now. But Ost, Tonic, Clarkey all very close together. I can't imagine overtakes will be particularly easy to come by at this track, as there's not really any heavy braking zones, just a lot of carrying the speed where you can. Possibly overtakes will be done through wall collision penalties. As Clarkey has dropped off now, but that front 4 has pulled away. And then we've got teammates Nicky and Kingy as P5 and 6. So maybe they'll try and work together to catch that group back up. And then Tim in P7 at the moment. Lol Power up into pole position for the reverse grid race. As for those that don't know, the second race is reverse grid, but only for the top 8. So 8th place is pole position for the second race, and it looks like those guys at the back have dropped off. So doesn't look like there'll be a battle for that pole position other than moving higher in this actual race. As what Shelty's gap, yes, it has extended now already. Ost and Tonic pulling away from Clarkey now then, yes. So keep on with Ost and Tonic, see whether they do work together or whether there's any move going to go on between the teammates again. And we'll keep an eye on that leaderboard to see if there's any changes. But like I said, I can only imagine but wall collision penalties will be turned off, so actually I can't really see where overtakes are going to get done other than people maybe hitting the wall hard enough to get damage. So it could be a tricky one, but maybe an error from Clarkey, because as we go back and look there, Nicky all over the back of Clarkey now. Or has Nicky just picked up the pace? Yeah, it does seem to have dropped King Gears a bit. So maybe Nicky just picked up the pace now. So we'll see whether Nicky can find anywhere to put that McLaren to get by Clarkey in that Sylvia. But we should see more ability to overtake with the long straight of East, because I believe East is that one with the really long straight. So we should see a lot of moves into turn 1 there. But here we go, Nicky going for it, but has to slow down too much, can't get on the inside, but he's pulled back out the slipstream again. And it does look like he's going to be by. Clarkey on the outside is going to have to give that one up, and he does. So Nicky up into P4 then. Nice move there from Nicky, as Clarkey with a big clunk on the wall, and he's well offline, and that's going to allow Nicky to pull away, and Kingy is to get right up on the back of Clarkey now as well. As we are still the same everywhere else. Ost and Tonic gaining back up towards Shelty now, though. So these two have caught Shelty back up a little bit. As Lol Powers come into the pits, was that an accident? Let's see if we can get that on replay. See how far back is he already in the pits. Let's have a look. Oh, it was! Oh no, poor Lol Power there. Oh no. Exactly what you wouldn't want there. Has an accident, hits the wall and gets sent into the pit lane. So that's promoted Echo there up into pole position for the next race. Absolute gift for Echo there. But it looks like everywhere else. Let's see what King Ears can do against Clarkey's. It looks like Clarkey's starting to struggle now. A few hits on the wall putting him offline. So we'll see whether that gives King Ears any opportunity to go for a move. Yeah, it was Ray. God, like, it's just the worst outcome, not only of your crash, but then you've obviously got the pain of having to go all the way through the pits as well. Had he avoided the pit lane, he could have still been in that fight with Echo probably for P8. Still looks like this is our only real out-and-out fight going on at the moment, I think, is between King Ears and Clarkey. Looks like Ost and Tonic have settled down a bit, but here we go. Hang on, Ost setting a purple lap by quite a lot, got himself right back up onto the back of Shelty here. Let's see whether he can do anything now he's got that slipstream as well. But again, it's going to be so difficult with the speed that Shelty's got here to get a move done. But this could be an unbelievable lap for... Oh, it looks like he also made a mistake. Have I jinxed him? The time's come down from Shelty. Let's see what lap time he manages to put in, because that was potential for an unbelievable lap from Oss there. I think he was in a 1:16 pace. He has done a 1:17.3, so he does still take the pole position, but I think he was running in a 1:16 pace there, which was unbelievable. But he has dropped back off. Maybe the Lambo just a lot better at the first part of this track, and then the Mazda comes into its own at the back end. Or maybe I just give Ost a bit of a commentator's curse by jumping on board with him. So we'll move back away and see if he can catch up, as it looks like Clarkey may be starting to put cleaner laps in now and keep Kingy at bay. But as we say that, Kingy closes back up again. And yes, he is going to go for the move, and Clarkey's give the inside away again. Exactly the same as what Nicky did to him, pulled back in, but Kingy is not able to pull back out again to then go for the move. And Clarkey holds on to that one. Have we got another fight down near the back of the field by the looks of it? It's Lol Power and Shinto battling away there now. Oh, Shinto, big hit on the wall. That's going to drop him away from Lol Power, I think, now then. See, is any other battles going on? No, it just looks like the top three kind of close, but the real close two are Kingias and Clarkey here. But said just nowhere round for that big baguette of a Bugatti to get by that Sylvia. Hey Richie, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, definitely, Ray. Maybe they'll give us more of the same in the second race, but I imagine in the second race, with that long straight, Kingy will have much better luck at trying to get by that Sylvia. Let's jump back on with Ostat. No, Osta's dropped away from Shelty now. And Shelty, look at that. The pressure that Ost put on Shelty. And what does Shelty do? He comes back and answers with a new fastest lap, beating Ost's lap. Unbelievable there from Shelty and even from Ost in this one. Said we'll see what Ost can do. Still about just over 4 minutes left to go, so another 3 or 4 laps. Whereabouts are they? They had just crossed the line, so yeah, it should be another 3. I don't think they'll get a 4th, but they might do. But yeah, it looks like Ost maybe not quite got the same consistency around here that Shelty has. But then, no need really for Ost and Tonic to battle. The only thing is whether Ost would consider giving second place to Tonic to help him in the individual championship. But then again, Ost has got the possibility to get into a fight for third place, and Tonic looks fairly comfortable at the moment in second place. So maybe better for those two if Ost does take second place then. So how's Clarkey and Kingy is getting on? They are still very close to each other, but they are still in the same order. So we go 3 minutes left to go now then. Let's see, can Kingy get close enough to force Clarkey into him? But it looks like that's going to be the only way by. The moves we have seen made have mostly been from pressure and then hitting into the wall and losing speed, allowing the car behind to then get by. So we'll see if King Gears can put enough pressure on Clarky now to make him hit a wall and possibly sneak by. And it does happen as we say it, but can Kingy get alongside? No, that section of the track, not just the straight's not quite long enough for Kingy to take advantage. But that is the sort of error that he needs to force Clarky into to try and get by here. As you could see how much speed Clarky lost due to that. But he needs it at a more favourable part of the track. Steve obviously wanting his old teammate there to get by. I mean, this could be very important because, as I said, Iron Plebs currently lead the team championship and they are P2 and 3 at the moment. Yes, Cargo do have a first place and a fourth, but if King Gears could get up into 5th, that'll help Yes Cargo close that gap on Iron Plebs. As where's Ian in P9, so not too far off, but Iron Pleb's final teammate in P9. So if Kingy can gain an extra place, that could gain a few points for Yes Cargo in the team championship here. But we are going to be coming round onto the final lap now, the next time they cross the line. Let's go back to those front guys. 2 seconds now it is to Shelty, but that's because Tonic's got by Ost. So something happened there between those two teammates, so they weren't going to stay in the same positions. Yeah, 19-2. Yeah, it must have just been a wall hit and a pass, because Tonic's lap wasn't that much slower, 17.9. But Os was a 19.2, so Os must have just made a mistake and hit the wall. One more like that, and Nicky might be looking to sniff out that last position. It looks like everyone, no, maybe it's at the back, maybe won't make it round. Shinto, no, I don't think Shinto's quite going to make it to the line. Is he in time to get the final lap? No, so Shinto finishes the race there then. So let's get back on with Clarky and Kingy and see whether in the final moments of this lap Kingy can get anything done. It actually looks like maybe Clarky pulling away a little bit in this lap. Chose the right time to put his cleanest lap in. Let's move to the front, guys. So Shelty, is going to take that win, followed by Tonic in P2 and Os crossing the line P3. Nicky then P4. Then we have this battle right up to the line between Clarky and Kingy for P5. It's going to be Clarky followed by Kingy. Then we're going to have Tim in P7. Echo coming round the final corner now for P8. And LOL Power has got past Ian. It does look like Ian maybe made a mistake on that final lap there, and that's allowed LOL Power through to take that P9 right at the end, and Ian is going to have to settle for P10 then. Hey Baz, nice to see you, mate. Oh, and I've just noticed something Ray said in the Discord. I forgot this is a wet race we have coming up. I'll save that replay just in case anyone needs anything from it. Let's quickly go through that final order one last time then. So we had Shelty with a clean sweep yet again, taking the pole position, the win, and the fastest lap. But look at those top 3 guys, fastest lap-wise. You can't get much closer than that between those guys. So then we have Tonic P2, Ost P3, Nicky then P4, completing that team sandwich there. And then Clarky holding off Kingy for P5, as P6 is Kingy, then Tim is P7 and Echo P8. Then we have Lol Power nicking P9 right at the end, and Ian P10 with Shinto just missing out on that final lap in P11. So here we go, east clockwise. Is this the way round that I like it, or the opposite way? That's the question. I think this is the way round that I would prefer the track at, but there will be rain in this one. I don't know whether it's for the full race. Looks like Shelty's gone out on dry tyres, but it is showing on the moist meter thing that it is into conditions, and Shelty did really have to slow that car down. No, but it looks like quite a few going out on the softs to start with. What about Clarky has gone on the Inter, so the Inters are going to be the required tyre to start with, by the looks of it. But is the rain going to get heavier or lighter? Because have these guys just gone out on softs to test things? Because there's a few gone out on softs. So maybe they're expecting the track to dry up. But no, Shelty then crashing. Looks like they're going to have to go for Inters here. And Jakey is on his way for race 2. So he's got some points to make up in that battle for third place in the teams and in the individuals after missing that first race. Because as I said, Jakey is very, very close in that battle for that final podium spot of the individual championship. As Shinto going out on full wets though. I don't think it's quite that wet to need full wets, but maybe Shinto thinking the opposite, thinking the track's going to get wetter as it goes on. Let's have a quick look actually at that weather radar and see what it shows us is going on. Does it look like it's gonna get wetter or drier? Can we see anything? Let's zoom out a little bit. We're nearly up to current time. Yeah, that's questionable. Looks like it looks hard to judge. It could do either by the looks of that. We could see it getting wetter quite quickly, but we could also see it getting drier. But maybe getting wetter, because actually look at that moist meter now for Clark. He's struggling on those Inters now. So maybe it will be a full wet race start. We'll see if anyone takes the risk. Yeah, shame you lost that P9 right on the final lap there, Ian. Hopefully this one goes better for you. Was there an actual weather thing? Let's have a look. Is it just one set weather rate? Yeah, rain 04, so there's no multiple weathers, it's just rain 04. So that is sort of in the middle, so it could be a Inters versus wets battle for the whole race then. So I think if you want to be fighting at the front, you're going to have to go for Inters, I think. But it could be risky on this track, so we'll see what everyone chooses to do. Yeah, on the weather radar, when we looked at it, then it looks like from current time as though the rain is sort of, there's gaps in it, so I don't think it's going to be permanently raining. that's why I think Inters is going to be the better choice. It's just whether in those sections where the rain starts coming down, whether you can, you know, make sure you don't crash on Inters. Because especially here, getting any damage off the walls or anything is not going to be very good in the circumstances. But it looks like most people have decided Inters in the end. But there are a few that have gone on to wets. But it looks like most people changed back to Inters. So just Echo on the wets at the moment. Maybe going to try something different to everybody else. But getting damage to the car is going to be an issue. And tyre wear should be alright, but it'd be interesting to see how this tunnel section affects the tyre wear compared to last week. Because obviously in the rain there's not really any tyre wear normally, but as soon as you use them wet tyres on a dry track, you can get quite a bit of wear. Oh, exactly what I was just saying then, Steve. Hey JP, nice to see you, mate. So I said we'll see whether it has any effect on the tyre wear at all. It does look like Ost on that car is starting to get a little... Looks like everyone's getting a little bit of red, whereas the other week, last week with the rain, you could hardly see any red for ages on anyone's tyres, and they've only done like a lap each basically, so possibly change of tyres gonna happen this time rather than just fuel, but I still imagine it'll be just fuel. It could all just depend on how the rain goes, because it looks like it's stopped raining now. But obviously, unfortunately, we can't have access to that weather radar that the drivers will have. So we can't see what it's showing, whether rain's going to come back down again in a bit, or whether there's a big gap in the rain. Hey Matty, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, and it's quite a long section through the tunnel where it's dry as well. Kingy just asking if everybody is ready now then. So we're getting ready for this race. Quickly have a glance through everybody. And we are all now on Inters. So was it Echo, I believe, wasn't it, that was trying out the wet? So Echo has decided to go on Inters the same as everybody else. Yeah, Matty, he is. He was flying in that first race. We thought he was going to put in a mega lap, but unfortunately made a mistake. He was on pace for the 1:16 lap, which would have been unbelievable pace. Yeah, so the track has dried up. So if the rain is the same as what it just was for that first bit, we could see it dry up, but depending what the radar is showing people, we might get rain again afterwards. So will people stay on the Inters, or will they look to swap to softs after a few laps and fill the tanks up and then go to the end? It'll be interesting to see. But this track might probably be a bit more fuel intensive at this track than last week maybe. as there's a lot of long straight where you're on the power for the whole time. Steve saying Kingy to win, Oss second and Nicky third. It's a big prediction, so you're disregarding Shelty due to the FF, I imagine. And then you're taking Tonic out of that equation as well. But then again, I suppose we're on about the four-wheel drive, aren't we? So that's where Ost and Kingy will have an advantage. There's obviously rolling start for this. But then again, there's not that many traction zones, really. It's just coming out the final corner is your only huge traction zone. So the four-wheel drives might not be as much of an advantage as they normally are in the rain. So here we go now then. We'll move on to the front as Echo leads us away. But obviously Kingy getting a good starting position compared to the others without faint. And there go the two Bugattis with the pace. That's where they're going to have the advantage down the straight. Nothing Echo could do there. Echo wishing he wasn't in pole with those two cars right behind. So we'll see how turn one goes now then. Looks like everyone got through cleanly. Possibly a few little scrapes on the wall, but that was a big scrape on the wall by someone, or possibly a lag hit, because no one's crashed. I definitely heard a bang and it looked like there was a car somewhere. But yeah, everyone has carried on, no issues. So Kingy up into the lead and Tim second. So Kingy making the most of not having the greatest finish in the first race. As we see Clarkey looking for the move, and Ost. No, but Ost sensibly backs out of it. 3 wide here in the dry is bad enough, let alone in the wet. But then Echo does hit the wall and's going to drop back now and get swamped by everybody behind as Nicky, Tonic and Ost all go through. And Clarkey as well. So can these guys quickly catch up to Kingy at the front before he can run away? I wish we could change to get the radar on. Yeah, 3 wide there. I think Ost was very sensible to decide. Oh, and this is where Ost will have the advantage. Look at that traction difference. And Tonic following his teammate through, using Ost's traction there at the final corner to slip his way by Clarkey. But Clarkey now behind for the long straight though, so maybe that won't work out for these two. As Tim has got back ahead of Kingyers. So maybe a mistake at the final corner for Kingyers, or maybe tactical because he knows he'll slipstream straight back by him. So what about Ost further down? Tonic right behind his... Yes, Tonic's working together with his teammate there because he knows Clarkey's coming through with Nicky right behind as well. So we're going to have a send into the first corner. It looks like Clarkey's staying on that inside line. He's looking for it, but Nicky moving to the outside. So we're 3 wide again now into turn 1. Can Clarkey get it stopped? Oh, possibly Nicky getting squeezed a bit into the wall there. As 3 wide, even in the dry, is going to be very, very difficult there. And Nicky has massively lost out by choosing to try and go around the outside there. And Clarkey has got by Tonic, but this might just allow Ost to run away and catch the lead too, which he has done already actually. Oh, was a big slide from Tim there, but he does hold on to it. And Ost looking to pull out to get a move done, and he is going to be alongside by the looks of it. But again, backs out, playing it sensible here, Ost. It's a couple of times he could have gone for stuff and he's backed out, but he's got Clarkey right all over him again now. Oh, as everyone did well to avoid the wall. And we're going to go 3 wide again. Clocky looking to make it, but no. Ends up hitting the wall. Can't get around the outside there. And that's going to allow Jakey through. So Jakey also in the Bugatti there. But they are all still so close together. One huge gaggle of cars at the moment. And Jakey's looking around the outside of Ost. But no, it's too far outside. But Kingy with an error again at the final corner. Oh, and that allowed Ost through. And I think Ost might think he was at fault. Did he? Is he slowed down, or did the contact just slow him down? Let's quickly go back and try and look at that from their point of views. See what we can see on board with Kingy. Yeah, let's just watch that. Hopefully we're not missing any action. We'll just watch that one more time as Kingy decides to come in the pit. But I think that might be... oh, yeah, Kingy slid out a little bit. Oh, yeah, and then Oss was right against the wall and Kingy touched him. So I'm not sure there was anything Oss could have done there. I think it was the initial error or contact. I'm not quite sure what caused Kingy's initial drop back. But I think the bit with Ost, I don't think there was a lot Ost could do to get out the way. But Kingy going for a different strategy now by getting out of the fight. And going to see how that helps him. So Kingy must think the race is not going to need dry tyres at all. Let's quickly check in with him where he's come out. 34 seconds off. Oh no, he has put softs on. He's gone extreme at risk early on as Kingy is. Oh, and it might be the wrong decision. You cannot get off that drying line in this situation like Kingy has. So he's took a huge risk, but it might have backfired massively as we still have Tim leading the way here. Holding everybody off in these wet conditions. Yeah, Matty, this has just been insane how close everyone has been in this one. But I think Jakey's going to get the move done now. But does he want to pass Tim here? Yeah, and Tim backs off early. Ah, but does he back off too early? He should have the traction out the corner on Tonic, though, which will help him. He's got a little bit of a wiggle on, has Tim. And Ost got good traction out, so Ost might be able to get up and help his teammate try and get by Tim, because they can't afford to let Jakey run away. But Jakey's going to come in the pits, and so is Tim. So I'm presuming they're going to try and put the soft tyres on, but from what we saw from Kingy, as that might be a big error, as little Nicky is going to try and look for the move. But Ost and Tonic surely will work together here to try and stop Nicky from getting by. Oh, and Nicky coming out the tunnel, I think just got on the wrong section as the dry patch as he made contact with the back of Ost from Ost bumping Tonic. Yeah, and Ost backs off early, lets his teammate keep that. Yeah, it doesn't look dry enough yet for dries. There's a little bit of a dry line, but it's not a full dry line yet. So those guys... So Jakey, where's he come out? He has put softs on. Let's see how he copes with this first corner now then. So he's put softs on, but he's put no fuel in. So he thinks they're going to have to pit again with pitting this early then. Because he's decided not to put any fuel in. He dealt with turn one a lot better than Kingy has did. But look at that, see, there we're going through this tight bit here. I don't know if he's going to be losing too much time. How about Tim? Let's see how Tim's getting. Oh, and Tim's got a pit lane penalty. And Tim has hit the wall at turn one by the looks of it, as he's got big damage. So maybe a huge error from 3 drivers there going for it. Understand the Kingy's choice, though, as Kingy's choice made sense in the circumstances, with the fact that he had just had a crash, so it was worth the risk. But I think Jakey and Tim might have just made a blunder. Because I think looking at this, if I was Austin Tonic, I'd probably consider staying out for one more lap. Because I don't think the dry guys are going to be running faster than the Inter guys yet. But look at Shelty's tyres. Absolutely torn up now. It's drying in that FF. But I think if I was these guys, I think I would still stay out for at least one more lap. It is drying, but I don't think it's... I think it's too risky when you're in the lead. If I was possibly like Shinto or Clarky, it might be worth the risk. But I can't see those front guys. And there, as we say, that Clarky does come in. See, that's the sort of position I would have come in from. But I possibly would not have come in from the lead like... oh, and Oster's had to let Nicky by on the straight with the slipstream there. But yeah, it's just this turn one bit. Even on the racing line, it's still not fully dry around turn one. Or even to turn two, a little bit is not quite fully dry either. So let's see how Clarky gets on at turn one now then. So this is a very interesting one to see with the different tactics. But I'm presuming there's no rain close on the radar, I'm guessing, with all these guys going onto the dry tyre. Because if there was rain close, you think they'd carry on. As Clarky does navigate turn 1 and 2 okay, but Lol Power struggling there and picking up some damage. So maybe now is the lap for these front guys to come in. Let's go on Jake, who's been in for a few laps. What lap times? Oh no, he's not. That was his out lap, so he's not done a... But 3 seconds up, so yeah, now is the time. They can't afford one more lap out, these guys. I think Jakey's going to retake the lead, but Jakey didn't take any fuel. So I think no matter what, he's probably going to retake the lead anyway. But we'll see what he can do compared to these guys. But I imagine we'll see Tonic, Nicky and Ost and Shelty all into the pits this time round. So let's see. No, Tonic stays out. Has Tonic seen some? And so does Nicky. And so does Ost. But Shelty in. Has Tonic seen? Because Nicky and Ost were very far to the left and seemed to copy what the drivers in front did. So has Tonic seen something on the radar? Maybe that rain is possibly coming back in. That is a very interesting one, because it now does look, as long as you stay on the dry line, that is, it does now look dry enough. Because look at that, well, not quite a second, just over the second a lap quicker now is Jakey than Tonic. So the dry line is definitely there now if you can stay on it. As my headphone for GT has fell out, so I can't hear anything. There we go. And where's Shelty come out in comparison to Jakey? Fair bit behind, and he has gone onto the side. He's also put no fuel in. So, but obviously again in an FF, he's going to have to pit again. So what did Clarky do fuel-wise? Clarky fueled up. So a few guys that have pitted are fueled up, and a few have decided to leave the fuel for the later pit stop. So maybe that's what Tonic and Nicky and Oster are all going for. They're going for the one stop over the two stop, maybe. They're trying to take the car long enough to where they only have to one stop. That could be what we're seeing here. Or something maybe happened with Ian there as he apologises for something. Let's see if we can maybe catch what happened. Oh, he just him getting in the way of Jakey. I'm thinking, oh. And this is the risk you take being on softs. Let's just watch that again from Jakey's point of view. we can. Yep. This is the risk you take on softs. He's got stuck behind an Inters guy, and Ian's done nothing wrong there. He's tried to get out his way for him, which he didn't have to do. But when you're on the soft tyres, you just cannot go off of that dry line at all, which makes overtaking cars very, very difficult. So Tonic, Nicky, Ost all stay out. Wow! What a move in wet conditions from Nicky if he can make that stick. Superb move there from Nicky. It jinked to the outside as though he wasn't going for it. Let's quickly have a look at that one again now then. So if we look, it looked like Nicky backed off. It moves to the left like he's not going for it. Oh, and then comes back to the right. Very risky move because you need to get it stopped, but he did get it stopped. So fantastic move to take the lead from Nicky there. So Nicky, Tonic, Ost. Oh, but Ost has just hit the wall. So Ost dropping away from these guys now and has got wheel damage. That is not going to make life easy for Ost, who was right up there in this fight for the lead. Shinto's still out. So Shelty, the leader of the guys that have pitted at the moment. But he could come into some issues in a minute when he has to try and get by Shinto here. As we saw with Jakey, you can't really afford to overtake off the racing line. And it's going to be hard to get the other car to move. Yes, he's managed to get back on the racing line before the braking zone, which is what you need on those dry tyres. So it's going to be... Oh, Osty's struggling a bit to get the car stopped there. Ost needs to settle back down and get after these guys. Maybe Ost will start to consider pitting. But these guys have definitely got to go for the one-stop method now because they've lost time to the guys that have already pitted. So it's too late for them to pit now. And yes, they are staying out. And even Ost is as well. Ost needs to really get back up onto these two if he can. But yeah, these guys need to get to the one stop point before Shelty passes them, because Shelty will then obviously be having to come in the pits again and they won't. Or they need the rain to come back down again, forcing everybody to pit. As we see Shinto finally decide to come into the pits. So can Shinto get all the way to the end of the race now then? But that's going to allow Jakey through. Jakey now coming up to Ian again. So going to have to be careful to not go off the racing line when trying to get by. So, and this is the problem with pitting early in these wet races. You see Ian's doing nothing wrong and he has now decided just to get out the way, which he didn't have to do. I think he feels a little bit guilty about what happened before. But that's the risk you take by going onto the dry tyres when there's still a lot of water on the track. But the advantage you get is what Shelty's showing and what Jakey's showing when he puts a clean lap in, that the pace is now like 5 seconds a lap quicker than the pace of these guys at the front. So that's a huge difference. So like I said, these guys can't afford to come into the pits now until they can get to the end of the race, which I'm not sure when that will be, but it'll probably be soon that they can get to the end of the race. Then again, they've used a lot of fuel because started with 3/4, so they've used over half a tank for 15 minutes. Yes, they're going to have to put a full tank in then to do the 30 minutes till the end of the race. So I think they can pit from any lap onwards now. Oh, and Nicky was tempted, but has not. Ost, is he going to? No, he's going to stay out as well. But I think they're going to have to come in on this next lap. Ost has got enough fuel. Ost isn't using as much fuel as the other two guys. So Ost has got enough fuel that if he puts a full tank in, he'll get to the end. It looks like basically for 15 minutes they've used just over half a tank. So for the last 30 minutes they're going to need a full tank of fuel to get to the end. Hey, Hog Rider, nice to see you, mate. Oh, as Os scrapes the wall again. Oster's started to struggle. He was doing very well in the wet, but now we've got into this middling stage with the track drying. He's really struggling on those inter tyres. But he should have at least a lap and a half, so the rest of this lap and one more lap probably before Shelty catches him, as long as he doesn't make a mistake. And the front guys should have one more lap. But said, I think these guys will all come in on this lap and put a full tank of fuel in. But they might have to fuel save a little bit in the later stages of this race, especially these two. So I wonder if Nicky and Tonic might go one more, but I don't think Os needs to. I think Os can get away with coming in one lap earlier than these guys, and with a 5 second a lap pace difference on the dry tyres, that could get Os right back into the fight for the win. As Nicky goes a little bit deep there. Yeah, so let's see what Nicky does. This is the first time we've seen in a while that Nicky's been the leader at this point. So we'll see whether Nicky goes in or whether he does go for one more lap, whether he's got the fuel to do it. Looks like he's going to come in, but is he going to fake it? Yes, he's done that again. Ah, but Tonic does come in. So Nicky fakes it and Tonic comes in. So Tonic might have to fuel save later on. Ost stays out. I think Ost has made the wrong decision there. I think Ost isn't using as much fuel as the other two. So Ost should be able to go to the end. I understand Nicky staying out. And Jakey's had to come in again already because of not fueling up. So Jakey already made his second pit stop. Kingy is ahead of Tonic now then. So that shows the pace difference on those dry tyres. The only difference is though, there's no way Kingy's getting to the end of this race. So Kingy will have to pit again. Whereas Tonic, now as long as rain doesn't come down, Tonic shouldn't have to pit again. Nicky very low on fuel, so Nicky will definitely be in this lap, and I think Ost is going to have to follow him in, or he's just going to lose too much time. Because look, Shelty's nearly caught him now. So you can't afford Shelty to have a full pit stop on you, because then he's got that extra pit stop. So these guys need to come in on this lap. But this one's going to be very hard to work out who's where, because there's several groups on several different strategies by the looks of it. Let's quickly see what tyres did Jakey put on. Softs again. Clarky got ahead of him, and Tonic stayed quite a way ahead of him with obviously not having stopped yet. So 33 seconds off the lead. How far is Shelty off the lead? 6. So 20 odd seconds he's going to be behind Shelty. But Shelty will have to pit again. So there we go. Get Nicky in, Austin. And Shelty is going to take that lead. But Shelty's going to have to come in on the next lap by the looks of it, actually. Shelty may be regretting not putting more fuel in that car, but then again, looking at his tyre wear, he should get to the end of this race on that next set of softs. Right, so where is Tonic and where's Nicky and Ost? There's Ost gone through, and Nicky is going to be passed as well because he's building up speed. But these guys, oh, little bit of a late move from Nicky to stay on the dry line there. I don't think that was intentional, but spooked Tonic, but luckily nothing came of it. And how much of a lead now can Tonic get? But Clarky went through as well. So Clarkey up... No, Clarkey's not got enough fuel, so Clarkey is again going to have to pit again, so not in this race for the battle. But could Clarkey maybe pull Oss towards these guys? Or will he slow Oss down? So Kingy tyre-wise might choose to... How Kingy's tyre... He didn't pit that much earlier than Shelty, I don't think. But Kingy's tyre's much, much worse than Shelty's now then. So here we go with Kingy's then. Let's see, Shelty will probably come in this lap. How far's 27 seconds? So it's all going to depend where Shelty comes out, I think. And where's Jakey? Jakey's behind Ost. But Jakey showed a lot of pace when he put the sauce in. So Jakey might still possibly be in for the win here. Because Jakey has a lot of pace on those dry tyres. Is Kingy going to come in as well? No, he's going to stay out a bit longer. Yeah, I know, but he's doing well to be that much worse than an FF, Steve. Oh, and Shelty comes out behind. Where's Nicky? Nicky's going to go by as well. What about Clarkey and Ost is the big one with Shelty. Ost, I think, has really lost a lot. I think Ost, with having better fuel usage than the other guys, probably lost out by not pitting a lap or two earlier. And he has struggled. He was doing very well in the wet phase of the race, but he has struggled a little bit as the track has dried. So he could really do with getting on the back of Shelty now. Because Shelty's on the opposite strat and has got ahead of Ost. So Ost maybe being a bit too cautious with the not wanting to crash, because he did have a few little incidents. Clarkey closing in on Nicky, but Tonic so Tonic is the favourite, I think, at this stage to take the win, as long as there is no more rain to come down. Clarkey on... Oh, Clarkey's took damage. Must have struggled into that last braking zone and hit the inside, and Shelty's all over the back of him now. But Shelty had to lift there, caught him at a bad moment, and you're not going to want to go off the dry line around this section of the track, or you'll just get dragged wide. And that's allowed Ost to catch back up. This could be good news for Ost. Could use Shelty to pull him up to these other front guys and stay in this battle for the lead. But Jakey right on the back of Ost now as well, and Jakey is in the favourable car for this track. So I think Jakey's in a good position as well. I think it doesn't look that good, but I think when you consider the car that he's in... Oh, but is this rain coming down again? Is that rain starting to come down? Is this going to throw a spanner in the works for everybody? Because it definitely looks like there's possibly a bit of rain coming down now, but it seems to have stopped again. Straight line speed of the Bugatti's more of a joke than the Mazda. The way he cruised past Ost there was insane. Oh, I've only just realised we're still on that mode. We like to be cinematic here. That was from where we looked at that replay of Kingy's crash. Maybe if Ray is still in the chat, she can let us know from Kingy's point of view whether there is actually rain coming down again. Because there's a few moments where it's looked like it, but now it doesn't look like it, so it's hard to tell. But Kingy's tyre's suffering now, and he will have to pit again for fuel anyway. And little Nicky's got right back up on Tonic now then. So this is the battle for the lead, and if these two battle, look at Shelty, Clarky, Jakey, Ost if he can cling on. No, Clarky needs to pit again, sorry. So we've got Clarky and Kingy need to pit again. But Tonic, Nicky, Shelty, Jakey and Ost have all done their needed pit stop. So I actually would say now, looking at the pace being done, Jakey should win this race. Because Jakey is a lot quicker, like a hell of a lot quicker than all these other guys. That Bugatti is just insane on this track. Like, when he gets up to Nicky and Tonic, there's, like, I don't see what they're going to do. Alright, so no rain to throw any spanners in the work late on at the moment. Well, this is one hell of a battle for, well, what's P2 at the moment, but what will be P1 when Kingy comes into the pits. And we have 4 cars right up together, and then we have Ost doing his best to just try and get up to these guys. The problem is every time he catches at all, he loses it all on the straight again, so because he's got no slipstream partner. But we are going to have a 4-way battle for the lead, which might slow these guys down enough for Ost to be able to make it a 5-car battle for the lead. As Shelty going around the outside of Tonic now to make it a 1-2 for the team, but he's not able to get by. But I think Shelty and Jakey might be the best position just because of the power of those 2 cars down the straights. Is Kingy looking like he's going to come into the pits? Possibly on this lap. And yes, he does come into the pits this lap. So something happened with Shelty trying to get by Tonic, and that's allowed Nicky a bit of a gap. So can Nicky try and run away a little bit of these guys behind fight? Look at the speed of that Mazda. Look, Tonic's jumped into the slipstream, and he's only just starting to gain again. And what about Jakey in that Bugatti? Is flying as well. Yeah, I think Nicky and Tonic might just be sitting ducks to these two with that long straight. Yeah, look at that. Jakey just cruising straight by. There's absolutely nothing Tonic can do there. And he's gone all the way around the outside of Shelty as well. Yeah, I think Nicky is done for here. I think the race is between Jakey and Shelty. But I don't even know if Shelty's not got the pace. Shelty's not got the race pace to keep up with Jakey. Hey guys, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, so looking at this, I think this might be the overtake for the win when Jakey gets it done. Because I just can't see, unless Jakey makes an error, I just can't see that any of these guys have the pace to match him at all. And I don't think even if they did have the pace to match him, I don't think they'd be able to pass him down to turn 1. I physically don't think their cars would be capable of getting by. So I think that might be the lead to Jakey. But we'll see how well these cars can keep up with Jakey down the straight in the slipstream. But from what we've seen when Jakey's come through, it doesn't look like any of these cars are going to have an answer to the straight line speed of that Bugatti. Has that allowed Ost up into this battle though? Nearly. Ost really needs to cling on to this group before they get away. But I think the battle for first has now gone. Look at how long down the straight, and it's Nicky finally closing up. But what's going to happen when Nicky has to pull out a slipstream? So there we go, he's pulled out a slipstream. Has he got the power to nudge ahead? No, look, Jakey's starting to pull it back again. Yeah, look at that. They can keep up in slipstream, but I just don't think they're going to be like, even if they can match Jakey's pace now around the rest of the track, and Jakey has been the quickest, I don't think they can get past him on the straight. So this is Jakey's race to lose, even though it still looks like one hell of a battle. Tonic has dropped all the way down to P5 now then, and Clarkie's still fighting away in this battle, but he is going to have to come into the pits. Tonic, where's Ost has made an error there and dropped off after that good lap to get back up with these guys. He's made an error and dropped back off of them. Oh, and Nicky has managed to get back by Jakey, which is what all these guys behind need, someone ahead of Jakey to slow him down through this section, because it looks like Jakey is is setting the pace. And obviously if he gets away on that straight, they're not going to catch him again if he gets away before the straight. Yeah, definitely stay here. It's one hell of a battle with the way it's led out. But we'll see what Shelty can do compared to Jakey as well. I think the advantage Clarkie's getting here is the fact that Clarkie's very low on fuel. So let's see, can Shelty pull on Jakey? Luckily for Nicky, he got a good exit out of the corner to pull away, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And is Shelty managing to close in as well with the double slipstream? Yeah, but he's not closing as quick as Jakey is. Look at that, Jakey just cruising by again. So if Nicky or Shelty want the win, they cannot afford to get in a battle with each other. They need to have one of them ahead of Jakey, I think. Has Ost dropped off this battle now then? It looks like he has. It looks like Ost's dream of being in this battle for P1 is over. But Clarkie is obviously going to have to come into the pits. But the rest of these top 5 do not. And what pace has Kingy has got now then as well? Yeah, so Kingy's flying. So if these guys battle enough, Kingy's going to get past Ost. And Kingy's going to be in this battle for P1 as well. Because these guys fighting are slowing each other down. And Kingy is also in the Bugatti is flying. It looks like that Bugatti is untouchable in race conditions at this track. I don't know. He clearly just disappeared. Someone else did earlier as well. So I don't know if he got DC'd or if he's maybe had a bad time and left. I'm not quite sure. And Nicky needs to try and get by here just to pester Jakey and make it harder for him. So if I was Nicky, I think I would sit in the slipstream all the way up to turn 1 and then maybe try and look for the late move, but it's going to be difficult under braking. But look at that, just for the slipstream effect to even kick in. Because if Nicky pulls out too early, as we saw before, he's just not going to make it by. Not unless, see, like pulling out there, Jakey's just going to have the pace to pull away again. And there it is, look, Jakey pulling away again. He needs Shelty, his teammate, right behind him to try and give him a bump by, I think. So he needs to sit there and go for the move very late into turn 1. Which he's trying to do, but he's not able to do. But this is an intriguing battle for the lead, because to be fair to these guys, they are not letting Jakey break away. And if Jakey does break away, looking at the pace, they are not going to catch him. But they are doing everything in their power to stop him from breaking away here, to keep this battle for the lead on. And if anything happens, it's Kingy now. Now only 10 seconds off. So he is gaining. So if these guys do battle away and anything happens to Jakey, we could be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4 yes car go, which will be great for their podium race for the win in the team championship against Iron Plebs. As Nicky's going to get the move done. He's no, just that angle there making it look like it. But this is what Nicky needs, right? Shelty needs to stay behind Nicky at this corner, and they both need to get the best exit they can so they can work together to try and get one of them past Jakey. Let's see, can Nicky get a good exit? He does, but so Nicky's very good out of the exit of that final corner, but Shelty just isn't in that four-wheel drive with that tyre wear kicking in. Shelty just cannot get out that final corner to give Nicky any sort of help in trying to get by Jakey here into turn 1. So I think Nicky's going to have to get by Jakey in an unusual place if he's going to get the move done. Or, as I said, he's going to have to go for the late move into turn 1. He's going to have to slip him all the way to turn 1, and he's going to have to catch him by surprise. But I think we're getting close to Jakey maybe breaking away, because these guys are not getting as close to Jakey by turn 1 as they were earlier on. But they have dropped Tonic now, so Tonic's all on his own. And also Kingy has come and ruin it for Austin Tonic. And as I said, that could really close the team championship up going into that final round. Nicky's sticking with Jakey, and so Shelty hanging in there as well. They really need to somehow get by and work as a team to keep him at bay, because it just looks like he's got way too much pace. They need to force him into an error, I think. But this is some great racing we have seen in this race, and we've just under 8 minutes to go. We still have some great racing still to come by the looks of it, which is why we haven't really left this battle too much, because these guys are just putting on such an insane show. You don't want to leave it. So can Nicky get up the inside now? Can he get the better exit? Yes, he can. So that's what they need. That's what they need. That's what they need. Shelty managed to get take advantage of Nicky getting the move done and getting Jakey's way. And that is what they need to stand any chance of beating Jakey in this one. And is that going to bring Tonic back into this fight? Not quite. He's not quite got enough slipstream to get up to these guys. And they're Jakey and Shelty side by side. But is that Bugatti going to have too much pace? That's the question. Because they're halfway down the straight and he's halfway to Nicky already. Yeah, look at that. He's still going to be able to go for the move on Nicky. Shelty pushing his teammate there, trying to make sure Nicky stays ahead. Nicky needs to be ahead here to slow him down through this section, I think. But no, that Bugatti has just, like, they've got no answer to its straight line speed. But he went deep. He went deep into the corner, which allowed Nicky straight back through. So that is what they need. But the problem is, down the straight, they have no answer to that Bugatti at all. So they are going to struggle to keep him behind. but they need to try and do some sort of teamwork to maybe back him up, because if they just wait to the straight every time, he's just going to cruise straight back past them again. So Nicky needs to put in as clean laps as possible, and Shelty needs to get all over that rear end of Jakey and just try and force him into an error to allow Nicky to run away. But I just don't know if Jakey's going to get forced into that sort of error. How far ahead can Nicky get coming out of the final corner? Because we have seen Nicky is very, very good out of this final corner. But is Nicky going to have enough fuel? Yes, he should do. No, it's going to be 3 more laps, isn't it? So it's going to be close for Nicky on fuel. But I think he should have enough. And he has. And Shelty's got by. That is it. So, Yes Car Go might have just teamworked enough to get first place. Shelty might not be able to hold off Jakey for second place, but he might have done enough to get his teammate first place here. But look at how much they're closing on him. Both of them just have way more speed than what Nicky does. So Shelty somehow needs to get back in Jakey's slip and get a move done on him to allow Nicky to run as far away as possible. Tonic's trying to get back into this one. Ost is too far away now. And I think King Ears is too far away as well. But King Ears might still get Ost for that P5 position, as that pace in that Bugatti is so much better than the other cars in the field, even compared to the Mazda. Yeah, and look at that, Jakey's back in slipstream by the end of the straight already. So now Nicky needs a solid from Shelty again. He needs Shelty to get something done on Jakey to give him that breathing space again. But Jakey's tyres and Shelty's tyres are in a bad condition, so maybe that's why Nicky's exits out of that final corner are so much better than these two now, because his tyre wear's so much better. And is Shelty going for it? He is going for it. He's forced them both to slow down, but that does not matter, because I think Shelty's only aim here is to get Nicky the win. Shelty, I don't think really is battling to actually get second place. He's battling to give Nicky the win. He's giving Nicky the breathing space that he needs to stop that Bugatti from getting him. And will he go for the move into the final corner again? Yeah, definitely is, Steve. And Shelty is doing Nicky a bigger solid as he can here, as we're going to have one more lap at the line. But is it enough? 1.5 seconds. This will really show us. I don't think 1.5 seconds is enough. I think Jakey's going to have Nicky before turn 1. This is going to show how insane that Bugatti is on straight line speed. Yeah, Nicky's a sitting duck already. 1.5 seconds, and it's not enough. Shelty doing everything he can to get Nicky the win here, and I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not. Jakey's gone back through. That is ridiculous, the straight line speed of that Bugatti. He only needed to survive one more lap, did Nicky. Hopefully, for Nicky's sake. Oh no, he's made a mistake, has he? Is that Nicky into the wall? No, he keeps it out the wall, so he lives to fight on. But he needs tyre wear for Jakey is bad, so he needs an error from Jakey with that tyre wear to give him that sniff to get back through, possibly at the final corner. As we've seen, Nicky is very, very good at that final corner exit, but can he hold off Jakey to the line if he can get the move done? So he's got two questions. One, can he get the move done? But two, can he hold Jakey off on the run to the line if he does get the move done? Because as we've just seen, that Bugatti has just, you know, there's no answer to it, even for the Mazda. And we know the Mazda's a quick car on the straights, and even the Mazda's got no answer to that Bugatti. So let's see now. We're just coming up to the final chance for Nicky. He needs to be ahead exiting the final corner. And don't even know if that'll be enough for him. I don't think he's going to be close enough to go for the dive, is he? After he made that little contact with the wall. No, he's not going to be close enough. We've seen how good he is on the exit, though, but even if he gets by now, it's too little, too late. But hang on, they might have another lap at the line, actually. Did I misjudge when they crossed the line? I must have misread the time. So they have got another lap at the line, but Jakey's pulled a second out. So can Shelty push Nicky back past Jakey? No, Nicky needs to come in the pits. That one extra lap has done it for Nicky. He's ran out of fuel. Exactly 0 fuel. That one extra lap has killed Nicky. Yes, Cargo, for the third race on the bounce, have ran out of fuel. I suppose that one technically isn't a run out of fuel because he made it to the pits, but look at that. Tonic and Ost are right through there then. What, has something happened to Tonic? Tonic's fuel saving. Tonic is badly fuel saving. Can he stay ahead of King Gears? That's why he's let Ost through, I think. Oh, but he's gone back past Ost now. Tonic might be losing. Tonic needs to let Ost go ahead, and he needs to fend off King Gears and slipstream Ost to save fuel for those two to stand any chance. Otherwise, King Gears is just going to get them both on the run to the line. I don't think Tonic's doing the greatest job of helping his teammate out here. He's not, and King Gears might get them both before there, and he has. So they've lost out with Nicky having to come into the pits for fuel. So Nicky's dropped to 6, but King Gears has gone all the way back up into P3. So it's actually no different to what the result would have been anyway. It just means they've lost out on a 2-3-4. But it looks like possibly Tonic has got in his own teammate's way and maybe allowed Kingy as the position. Can Ost go for something? No, he turned in too early. He had to try something because if you're not ahead of that car coming before you come out that corner, you ain't going to beat it in a race to the line. So let's see now then, Jakey coming to cross the line to take the win. And he's about to run out of fuel as well. But once he broke away, that was it. That Bugatti just had way too much pace for anybody else. Shelty taking a good P2 there. And Kingy is recovering up into P3. Ost P4 and Tonic P5. Little Nicky's going to bring it home in P6 with Clarky 7, Tim 8, Shinto 9 and Ian in 10th. So some unbelievable racing in that. Definitely worth a watch back. Yeah, I think those Bugattis just had way too much pace down the straight, Steve, for the other guys to even compete with, but still take nothing away from the drives that Kingy and Jakey did, making the most of having that advantage. But we'll save that replay in case anybody needs anything from it. So just quickly run through the order again then. So we've got Jakey in P1 taking the fastest lap as well. Then we have Shelty P2 with his teammate Kingy as rounding off the podium in P3. Ost is P4. P5 is Tonic. Then P6 is Nicky. So that makes it look like Yes Cargo might have gained some points back on Iron Plebs this round, making for a very tight final round. Then we have Clarky P7, Tim in P8, P9 is Shinto, P10 is Ian, P11 is Echo, and P12 is LOL, according to the DNFs anyway. I'm not quite sure if that's right. I think Echo disconnected before LOL, but that can be checked out. But some huge racing there. I don't know. It's hard to give a driver of the day for that one, Ray. I think Kingy has recovered well but had the car. Jakey was unbelievable but again had the car. Oss did really well in the first part of the race but then struggled to hang on to those guys. Nicky and Shelty did unbelievable as teammates to even compete with Jakey after he got up in their group. So I actually think I would have given it Nicky, but I think with Nicky having to pit because of the fuel issue, I actually think I'd give driver of the day to Shelty just because of the race one as well, adding into it, just making that edge different. But I think effectively nearly everybody could have had driver of the day in that one. So, you know, anybody could have took that one home. But I think, given my choice, I'm going to give it to Shelty. But as I said, it's a cost of a coin, really, between all of those guys. But it makes for a very exciting final round. So hopefully I will see everybody for that final round at, I think it's at Nords, isn't it, Ray? So that should be an exciting one. Yeah, in Nürburgring endurance layout. And it is a longer race, I believe, that one as well. So hopefully you all join us for that deciding race. But that's all for this time. So I'll see you all in the next one. See you later.